Anthony Davis, LeBron James had no idea this was coming.
This was the biggest trade in NBA history.
LeBron has dreamed about playing with Luka Doncic for years.
Dallas Mavericks, clearly you lost all faith in Luka Doncic.
Dallas won it for the now, and the Lakers won it for the future.
Oh, but the Lakers, they weren't done. Late last night, LA continued what was already one of the most consequential weeks in franchise history by acquiring center Mark Williams in a trade with the Charlotte Hornets. That's what our Shams Charania reported. Now, Williams is averaging 16 and 10 on 60% shooting in 23 games this season. So let's just take a look at what this full deal looks like. The Lakers received the 2022 15th pick in return for their 2024 first rounder. Fans were a little concerned about this one. Dalton Connect headed out, Cam Reddish, and an unprotected first, and then the 2030 pick swap as well. So I'm here with our Brian Windhorst, Ramona Shelburne, Dave McMenamin. Dave, you and I were sitting at a press conference a couple of days ago when Luka Doncic was introduced, and Rob Pelinka, the general manager of the Lakers, he said, or signified rather, you know, we don't know that there is a center on the market that we would be willing to put our big chips in on. Fast forward, that is exactly what they did. Why did they see this as the move?
Luka got to L.A. on Sunday night. On Monday, he met with Rob Pelinka, and he said, listen, I need a big that I can play and have a lob threat. It could be a mobile screener. Go get me one. And Rob Pelinka listened to him and got him one. And Mark Williams, 23 years old, he's going to grow with Luka. And this is about the future of the franchise, but it's also win-now mode. LeBron and Luka have a lob threat.
Yeah, we heard Rob Pelinka say that the market for centers was dry, and I think it was. I don't think Mark Williams was actually available. I think the Lakers made him available by making an offer like this, and the Hornets couldn't turn it down. This is the bulk of their remaining assets. This is not a trade I think they would have made last week, obviously. I'm sure if you're Anthony Davis, you're saying, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I asked for a center for like a year, and now you guys go out and make this deal. He does have injury concerns. He's played 85 games in 2.5 seasons, but when he's on the court, he's the type of player that Dave was describing for Luka.
I will say this. The assets they were able to use in this deal are the assets that did not go to Dallas in the Luka deal.
That is exactly right.
Dalton Connect, obviously when Dallas first started having conversations with the Lakers, of course they asked for Dalton Connect. Of course they asked for both picks. But because they couldn't talk to Luka, because the Lakers couldn't loop in Luka and see if he wanted to be there, they were able to hold on more of their assets for a trade just like this.
Yeah, and now it's about not just bringing Luka in and trying to win in the now, but you got to get Luka to re-sign, right? And so this will be the type of player he's going to want to play with in LA beyond the next season and a half when he signs the new deal. That's very key here. And listen, the injury concern is valid to bring up. The Lakers believe that their new medical staff under Dr. Leroy Sims, who they hired in the offseason, can get under the hood there, get him ready to go, work on his core stabilization. I had one Lakers source tell me that Mark Williams may be only scratching 60% of its potential thus far.
I mean, he's 23.
Yeah. I believe that's possible. I'm not sure that the injuries is simply wiped away, but I will say Lakers are probably not done. I don't know if they'll be able to execute a trade. They have Maxi Kleber, who they just acquired. Yeah. He is available. They have a second-round pick that he's available. I don't think they want to. I think they want to see how Austin Reeves plays, but we'll see how Austin Reeves meshes in with LeBron and Luka. That could be somebody who becomes available in the summer if that doesn't go perfect.
I just want to underscore what you said, Dave, that as much as this is the talk this week has been Luka and the future of the franchise, clearly what they're doing is saying, no, we also want to win right now. And that is exactly what Lakers fans want to hear. Fans also want to know, how is it going to look on the floor, right? So that's the intel from our reporters. But how is it going to translate to the court? That's where we send it over to Chiney and Udonis Haslem.
Let's get it. You know why I'm here. We're here to break down the new look Los Angeles Lakers. And I got my big bro with me. Let's go, UD. Because this is super fun. Let's start first and foremost with the superstars, all right? And that, of course, is LeBron James and Luka Doncic. And what I love about this, too, this duo between LeBron and Luka, is they combined for 52 points already and 17 assists, which generates at least 86 points of offense between those two guys. So run me my tape. And I think what we can expect a little bit more is LeBron James as a screener. Yes. And what are these opportunities potentially looking like? First of all, there's a short roll, which I love, and then he can get to his bag and hit a mid-range. Yes. But if the short roll is not available, UD, what he's able to do is read. So again, he initiates the offense inside, but he's big, he rolls, and he creates for others. That's going to be Mark Williams,
Whatever
right?
you do is wrong.
Yeah, exactly, because he has that basketball IQ. But again, like you said, this man, he can see everybody that's open and available. He sets another screen right here, and he's able to see the far corner. You see that pin down screen inside?
And then you switch and you got a small guard on him.
That's a problem, but more importantly, that nice read, that short roll turns into a three-point shot. So obviously that's LeBron James as a screener. But now we got a new addition, y'all.
Yes.
It's Mark Williams, and y'all, he's my little brother. I've known him. I've known the Williams family, and they're super excited about this. So, UD, why don't you break down who the Lakers got at center, 23 years old, 15 and 10.
I'm almost more excited than this as a Luka trade because this opens up the whole court for Luka. He loves vertical spacing, and we know Mark Williams can give him vertical spacing.
And let's see what it looks like on the court when he plays, of course. And so watch this. Yeah.
Come up, you set the pick and roll. Just give him a little bit. He doesn't even have to sprint to the basket because he has length, so he can get up to above the rim and go vertical at any point. That wasn't even high-paced pick and roll. That wasn't even fast. Now you come here. That's a la Derek Lively. That's what he loves. Now he goes. He gets two people on him. We know Luka can get in the paint against anybody. Just throw it up there. Just throw it up there anywhere. When you have a guy like Derek Lively or a guy like Mark Williams who has the longest standing reach in the NBA, yes, longer than Wemby, he can go get it at any point.
But there are two tiny little red flags. It might be right here with Luka and a little bit with Mark. We don't really worry too much about it, but I'll show you exactly what we're talking about because we know Luka Doncic, defensively, he will be challenged, especially when you see, you know, we talked about those numbers, the blow-bys. He's going to have to get low.
LeBron James will hold him accountable.
Absolutely. So this is an example right here. First and foremost, he goes out there, he sort of gambles, he's out of his stance, he sprints out defensively. This is the area that will keep them competitive. There's a blow-by, again, the last 2 years, 44.7% of, you know, his possessions, he was blown by.
You have 9-9 standing reach back there on the back line.
And people have been concerned because Mark Williams, I think, allows 53% at the rim, which is second worst in the NBA. But we don't care why. Because of what?
9-9 standing reach. There is length.
And, like, it's... To be real,
and he's
Charlotte.
He's 23.
It was Charlotte.
He's young.
We give him a little bit of a pass, especially as a big sis, but we're very excited, UD and I, on this new look Los Angeles Lakers, Malika.
Good move,
thank you so very much.
I play for Mr. O'Brien. That's it. I really want to win a championship.
Butler drives, puts it in. Jimmy frickin' Butler puts it in. Woo! The Heat will let it play out. It's over.
The Miami Heat with an inspirational season fall short.
If I was playing, Boston would be at home. New York, damn sure would be at home.
If you're not on the court playing, keep your mouth shut.
Butler told Pat Riley he wants to be traded.
I want to get my joy back, wherever that may be.
He suspended Jimmy Butler indefinitely.
Can you get your joy back here on the court?
Probably not.
Y'all, it's been weeks, but the Jimmy Butler saga is officially over. The six-time All-Star is headed to the Golden State Warriors in a package that includes Andrew Wiggins, Dennis Schroeder, Kyle Anderson, Lindsey Waters III, and a first-round pick. So for more on this trade that has shook up the last 24 hours here in the NBA, we are joined by the one, the only, the handsome, the bald, Richard Jefferson. Thank you so much for making your debut on our trade deadline special today, Richard. You've been very busy. You were on the call last night when this trade broke for the game between the Hawks and the Spurs. But what was your reaction to this one?
My reaction is, you know, I think Jimmy didn't get everything that he wanted, but I think he got a lot of what he wanted. I look at all of the things that have transpired in Miami over the last couple of months, and when I see Jimmy, I see a competitor. Is he as skilled as Kevin Durant? Is he as skilled as Klay Thompson? No. But is he still in his prime? Is he still capable and very, very capable? Yes. I like what he brings defensively. He's I hate to use this term sometimes with Jimmy, but he is an adult in the room. He can play. He plays on both ends of the floor. He is an ultra competitor. I never played with Jimmy, so I don't know all the things that go within the locker room, but I do know he's led a team to 2 NBA Finals, and now he's paired up with Steph Curry and Draymond and the rest of the crew.
Lucky for you, lucky for us, Richard, this is not the only time you will be in our show. We will be checking back in with you in just a little bit. But Jimmy, he's having maybe a little bit of a down year if you look at the numbers by his standards. But we all know when the lights are the brightest, That is when Jimmy Butler thrives. There is no one better to break this down than the queen of the tape, Chiney Ogwumike, and Udonis Haslem, who knows a thing or two about Jimmy Butler. What y'all got?
Look, UD, the team that has won the most games in basketball over the last decade, just got that guy, one of the most clutch players in hoops. And so let's break this down. No one knows better than you.
Let's do it.
Talk to me about Jimmy Butler in a Golden State uniform. What are they getting?
Jimmy buckets right here. When you're coming off the pick and roll, it kind of reminds me of Dwayne Wade because he's a guy that people don't consider a shooter. When the lights are the brightest and you're in the playoffs, you cannot give him these kind of shots. He's a shot maker.
And that's a good defender right there, Drew Holiday.
It's a great defensive possession right here. I mean, you contest it, hitting the ball, contest. He's just Jimmy buckets. Once again, not a great shooter.
Tough
Lights
situation.
are the brightest.
Right at
half court. Shot clock winding down. We at 43 feet right now. Just dribbles in and pulls up like he left his phone. Take that with you. In the playoffs, lights are the brightest. Jimmy buckets once again. So you're getting an ultra-competitive guy who can make tough shots in tough situations.
But the Golden State Warriors, they have to be very, very happy because look at this number. They have played in 31 clutch time games, tied for the most in the NBA. They have, a 16-15 record. So now you're going to have Jimmy Butler in those close game situations. And what are you going to get? You're going to get a little bit of this. Watch this. In a situation where you have 5 seconds left. I love this play. Shout out to Coach Mo. Just beeline all the way down to the rim with some misdirection action. This is the type of look you're getting, and look how powerfully he finishes. But also, okay, say this is a half-court set or in transition. He just knows how to probe, but at end of games, it doesn't matter who's in front of him. He has, the muscle, the strength, the IQ, and you told me something, UD. I hope you can share it with everybody else. You played ones with the best, right?
I played ones with the best.
What makes Jimmy different?
He makes you think. He attacks all your weaknesses. LeBron James can score on you no matter what he does. Dwayne Wade can score on you no matter what he does. This guy is going to attack every weakness that you have. He is not going to let you off the hook. He will exploit all your weaknesses defensively. Great pickup.
There's no one who knows the Heat and Jimmy Butler's fit there than Udonis Haslem. But there's no one who knows the Golden State Warriors side of this better than Bob Myers. So, Bob, take us inside Golden State's thinking here. Why is this the deal that they wanted to make?
Well, I don't know if it was they wanted Paul George, they wanted Lauri Markkanen, they wanted Kevin Durant, they got Jimmy Butler.
Well, the deal they made.
So the big deal they made, right? Yeah, right. Well, I'm not saying that's not to criticize the deal. I think what that all says and what I just said was they wanted another star. Starting in the summer.
Yeah, and I will say this, Bob, that they've been trying very hard to find a way to keep their offense up when what was it, 14?
Yeah.
when Steph is off the floor.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Butler can hold up your offense in a playoff setting.
Yes.
Steph goes to the bench.
And I think this move erased this uncertainty about being all in, so to speak. This move and the money, not just the move, but the money that Jimmy got for the next 2 years, we're playing poker. They just took it and pushed it in the middle. Question is, do they have jacks, underneath? Do they have kings? Do they have aces? That's the question. And here's the final thing, Wendy. They got it. This is not. They just got to stay healthy.
Yes.
They got to stay healthy, and when you got three guys their age, that's going to be the thing. But you know what? I like it, and he's a winner, like Udonis said.
Can I ask you something?
No.
So.
Yes, you can.
Just listen.
Go ahead, Wendy. I got
it. Steph Curry makes a lot of money, right? He's under contract for 2 more years. Jimmy Butler just signed 2 years, $111 million.
Yes.
Timeline.
Draymond Green under contract. How'd they paying Jonathan Kuminga?
That was my question.
Well,
Great
that's
question.
for my Bobby Marks, who's over there. How are they paying Kuminga? That's a Wendy question.
I mean that's a great question here because here's what's going to happen next year. This is their payroll this year. When you have Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green, you have 3 players basically making 83% of their payroll. Remember that Butler number for next year goes up to $54 million. You are $19 million below the luxury tax. This is even before addressing Jonathan Kuminga down here. And certainly, if his number is that $30 million number, they not only go through the luxury tax, they'll blow through the apron here. So basically, they're in a situation from prior years here. That's going to be the biggest question as far as for next year. For this year, it's about filling out the rest of the roster as far as what their 3 or 4 spots.
How important is it for them to be aligned on timelines? Because we know Jimmy Butler is uber competitive, so is Steph Curry. We know Draymond Green. That locker room is going to be fun. Talk about dogs. How important is it for them to all have that same mission, knowing that the end might be nearer than we ever thought?
I think it's important in that it creates some certainty. There's no more questions. Steph Curry, you're going to get a running mate. Can we get him help? This is what his help is. There's no more questions now. Now, is it going to work or not? Yes. And that's the real thing. In that locker room now, it's not about, are we going to timeline? Are we playing the young guys? It's about winning and winning now. And now they've got what we think is enough to do it. And so they just got to go do it.
And like you, my question is it going to work? Because you have a young guy in Jonathan Kuminga who is pushing to be the second, second option.
That part is not, that's unanswered. You know?
Yes,
that part
that
has
is
not
my
been
question.
answered. I will say this, like just one thing.
Go ahead.
This is for anybody. When has a major trade, and I'm talking, you can throw Luke into this too, and Anthony Davis and Jimmy Butler and all this stuff. When has a major trade in season done a lot for a team? You tell me.
Pau Gasol.
Pau Gasol, maybe, right?
Of course he had the answer.
2008-ish?
Yeah, 2008. So that was, how many years?
Long time.
It was 16 years. I mean, my
was
thing
2
is,
careers ago.
Even Kyrie and Luka, in their second year together, went to the finals. In their first year after the trade deadline, they didn't make the play-in. So I worry, Udonis knows better than anybody. When you make these deals with real players, fitting them in, even though when you played that Heat team, it took a while to get those guys going. That was a summertime thing.
There's an adjustment, and if I'm Jonathan Kuminga, I'm not just as easy to hand over the second fiddle to Jimmy Butler right now. I've been putting in the work.
But when you were sitting in that seat, Bob, you were at the top of the West the entire time. You didn't make in-season trades.
Because we weren't 500, like Windy said.
Yeah. But, I mean, how many trades did the San Antonio Spurs make in season for 20 years?
Fair enough, but I'm just going to take it one step further. This was their move. You said it. They pushed in the chips. The question is, do they have something else that they're going to be able to turn over? Because we're talking about this summer already as a summer that...
Two things. One, the Warriors are still working. There's a possibility of them getting shooting between now and 3 o'clock.
Okay.
Secondly...
They're going to need that. Draymond, Jimmy,
Kuminga,
all on the floor together.
I realize this can be a stupid statement and be accused against me in a few months.
Maybe just hold it. Windy, don't do it.
You're advising me like an agent.
It's all right. This is between friends. No one will hear it.
Say it.
There's not a lot of fear from the teams. There's not a lot of fear from the teams out there about these teams at the top of the West. Now,
oh, you mean the teams that made the deals don't fear Oklahoma City and
Houston? And maybe that's going to look like a mistake when Oklahoma City punches some giant holes in these teams come the playoffs. But I think these teams down in this level think even if it's an error, they think if we make one deal, maybe we could.
You know what I love? You know what we get to do? We get to find out who's right. Yeah. You know how you find out who's right? Udonis knows this. You play the games.
Oh, I can't.
You watch the games, and you see who wins the championship.
Go ahead.
That's who is right.
I would love to see a Laker OKC playoff series. Because what the Lakers did, I think that puts them in a position.
You like the Lakers over Dallas?
That's what I was going to say. They made a huge move
in a 7-game series.
You like the Lakers?
In a 7-game series.
I don't know.
But
I don't know.
What flies under the radar is that they believe that big Anthony Davis is the one that can carry them back to the NBA Finals, and that to me spoke volumes about the vulnerabilities of all the other top teams. They have opportunities in that position.
Yeah, the Western Conference right now feels in some ways wide open, and I don't mean that as disrespectful to the Thunder. It's just one of those things is when you are young, you have to prove it before people are going to get behind you.